ago, I was on this beautiful call with a bunch of luminaries, includling Les Brown, and he was talking about his 5-year-old grandson. And his grandson was actually crying. And he asked him why, and he said, "They're going to come for me." And Les asked his grandson, "Who are you talking about?" "The police." He had seen a newscast about Breonna Taylor. So as the little boy's crying, he said, "When they come for me, do I put my hands like this? Or do I put my hands like this behind my back?" That has to change. There are also souls that have given their lives in this time. Philando Castile, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Tony Dade, Oluwatoyin Salau, and so many more. That, of course, is just not even the tip of the iceberg, but this has to change. My name is Sophia Leva Marie. I'm here at 10,000 feet in beautiful Maui in Haleakala, a few minutes past the eclipse, and it's the perfect time to issue an invitation. This is the light emerging from the dark. And this is a beautiful time in history. This is a beautiful time in humanity because it's about choice. It's about personal responsibility. We've seen in the past few months how there's no longer time for apathy or ignorance or just going along your life and ignoring what's happening. It is time for change. There are several of an amazing group of change makers that are coming together for a sacred roundtable called Racism, Channeling Your Sacred Rage. This is about talking how to go from acknowledgement to empowerment. Because the rage, it's absolutely appropriate. Yet, how do we go from rage to potency? How do we go from rage to change? How do we go from rage to love? And how do we do this together? So my co-facilitator and I have gathered together an amazing group of individuals who are having this intimate conversation, and we want to invite you because this is about each of us. Each of us are responsible. Each of us are required to act. Action is energy and motion. What comes to mind is Jesus in the temple when the money changers were setting up their booths, and he turned them over and he says, "Not in my Father's house." And that's what's required of us. For us, each of us, to say, "Not in my family, not in my community, not in my church, not in my yoga studio, not in my community, not on my planet." This is time for us to come together. This is time for us to really become one race, the human race. But the only way we do that is to acknowledge where we are and where we're going, and how to seed it and how to create it together. So I would love to invite you to this sacred roundtable about, again, going from acknowledgement to empowerment. For several months, I've been hearing the words from the book of Esther, "You were born for such a time as this." So if you're here on this planet, if you're listening to this, I am calling upon you. The earth is calling upon you. Humanity is calling upon you. It is time for this to stop. It is time for change. And it's going to take each and every one of us.